Taurus, stop scrolling. Stop pretending this video found you by accident. It didn't. The cards are showing me one thing and one thing only. The person you have been waiting to hear from, the one whose name still sits in your phone like a wound that won't close, is reaching out. Not next week, not someday. Today, before this day is done, your screen lights up and their name is on it. A text, a call, something with their voice or their words attached. And I need you to understand how certain I am, because I'm going to say something I have never said in all my years of reading. If this does not land for you within the next 24 hours, I will seal this deck in a wooden box, bury it in the earth behind my home, and never pull another card on camera. I will walk away from this channel. That is not drama. That is the only honest response to what this deck is insisting on right now. The seeds grew, Taurus. The harvest is already in the barn. You are simply waiting for the knock. Now listen to me. I need you to do something physical right now, and I need you to do it before I say another word. Put the phone down, not away. I need you here, but put it flat on the table, turn it face down, close the other tab. Take your earbuds out of one ear so you can hear the room around you breathe. If you're walking, stop walking. If you're in the car, pull over. If you're lying in bed pretending you're just listening casually, sit up, Taurus. Because what I'm about to walk you through is not background noise. This is not the video you half hear while you fold laundry. This is the reading where I lay out the exact shape of what is coming toward you, and I need your whole nervous system in the room for it. You have been waiting. You have been checking your phone in that quiet, ashamed way, screen on. Nothing. Screen off 30 seconds later, screen on again. You have been doing that for longer than you want to admit. And I need you to be fully here so that when I describe what's arriving, your body recognizes it. Your body already knows. I'm just giving it permission to believe. And I can feel some of you pulling back right now. A little voice that says, they say this in every reading. They say it to every sign. They say today and nothing comes, I hear you. I respect that voice, it protected you. Every time you hoped and the phone stayed dark, that little skepticism stitched you back together so you could get out of bed the next morning. I am not here to mock that voice, but I am here to tell you that this reading is not a template. I did not write this script and swap your sign for another. The deck I'm holding right now, the one I shuffled while thinking specifically, only about the Taurus energy sitting in front of me. This deck pulled a sequence I have not seen in 4 years of reading. A sequence that says, the message is not coming. The message is already in transit. The words are already typed. The finger is already hovering over send, and the only thing separating you from it is a few hours of clock time. So let the skeptic sit in the corner. Let it watch. But don't let it drive tonight. Here's what I know without knowing your name. You are a Taurus who went quiet first, or you wanted to. You told yourself you were done. You said the words out loud, maybe to a friend, maybe to the ceiling at 2 in the morning. I'm not reaching out, I'm not begging. If they want me, they know where I am. And you meant it, God, you meant it. But meaning it didn't stop the ache. Meaning it didn't stop you from reading their name in a song lyric, in a stranger's conversation at a coffee shop, in a dream you couldn't shake by Tuesday morning. You have been so brave in your stillness, Taurus. And the cards want you to know your stillness was not invisible. It was not ignored. It was registered. The person on the other end felt your silence like a change in air pressure. They felt you stop chasing, and it terrified them in the way it needed to. And now they are moving toward you. Not because you called. Because you didn't. I want to be honest with you about the limits of what I can see, because you deserve honesty, not performance. I don't know your name. I don't know your face. I don't know if this person is a lover, an ex, friend who ghosted, a family member who chose someone else's side, or a colleague who owes you an apology that's 3 months overdue. I don't know if you're 22 or 54. I don't know if you're in Lagos or London, or a small town in Ohio where everyone knows your business. What I know is the shape, the emotional signature, the timing. The cards show me a figure who has been composing something in their head for weeks, rewriting, deleting, rewriting, and the moment of sending is today. I know the shape of your waiting. I know it's been longer than you told people. I know you minimized it. Oh, it's fine, I don't really care. You cared, you care right now, sitting here, listening to a stranger's voice tell you what your own heart has been whispering. It's coming. And I'm here to say, yes, it is now. I'm going to show you what I laid out on the cloth tonight, and I need you to understand what you're looking at before I turn single card. This is not a 3-card pull. This is not a past, present, future that I can phone in while thinking about dinner. This is 13 cards, and the spread has a name I've never used before because I've never needed it until tonight. I'm calling it the unsent message spread. 13 positions. 13 chapters of a story that has been writing itself in someone's chest for weeks, maybe months, and tonight it finally gets a stamp and an address. Your address, Taurus. Here's why this spread is rare, and I need you to hear me on this. Most spreads ask the deck a question. This spread doesn't ask. This spread demands. It says to the cards, show me every single layer between the thought they had and the moment my viewer's phone lights up. Show me the fear. Show me the drafting. Show me the reason they stalled. Show me the exact words they landed on. Show me what happens in the first 60 seconds after send. That is 13 questions stitched into one architecture, and the deck has to answer all of them in sequence, in order, without breaking the thread. I have attempted this spread twice before in my career. Both times the cards scattered. Both times I gathered them up and put them away because the timing wasn't ripe. Tonight I shuffled and the cards held. They held in a way that made the hair on my forearms stand up. They held like a sentence that's been waiting years to be spoken. So I'm reading them, all 13, for you. Let me walk you through the positions so you know the map before we travel. Card 1, the silence that spoke. This is the position that names what the quiet between you and this person actually was. Not emptiness, not absence. Something with a voice of its own. Card 2, the unsent draft. This shows me what they wrote and deleted. The message that lived in their thumbs but never made it to your screen. Card 3, the reason they waited. Not the excuse they'll give you, the real reason. The one underneath, card 4, the trembling hand. The fear that almost stopped them again tonight. The specific terror that made their finger hover over the send button 3, 4, 5 times before committing. Card 5, the words they chose. The actual shape of the message, not a transcript. The cards don't dictate text, but the emotional register. Is it formal? Is it raw? Is it 2 words or 2 paragraphs? Card 6, the hidden apology, because there is one Taurus. Buried under the hey, or the can we talk, or the casual tone they'll try to wear like armor. There is a sorry in there, the cards insist. Card 7, the door they're knocking on, what they are actually asking for when they reach out. It is not always what the surface words say. Card 8, the proof in the signal. This is the card that confirms the mechanism. Text, call, voice note, a reply to a story, a message through a mutual friend. The delivery vehicle, card 9, the old wound they carry, because they are not coming to you whole. They are coming to you with something unresolved in their own chest. And this position names it so you understand why they disappeared or why they hurt you in the shape they did. Card 10, the bridge being built. What this contact opens. Not just the message itself, but the architecture that becomes possible after. Card 11, the answer you'll give. Yes, Taurus. This spread reads you back to yourself. It shows me what your instinct will be in the moment you see their name. Card 12, the first hour after, the 60 minutes following contact. What the energy does, whether it escalates, softens, goes quiet again briefly, or blooms. And card 13, the next chapter written, not the ending, the next chapter. The one that begins because you answered. Because you let it inches because you didn't leave it on read. 13 cards, 13 positions. And I need you to understand something before I flip the first one. This spread does not work if the energy isn't real. I cannot fake this structure. If the message weren't genuinely in transit, the cards would have scattered the way they did those other 2 times. They didn't. They lined up, they held. And that Taurus is why I made the promise I made in the first 30 seconds of this video. I will bury this deck. I will walk away. Because if 13 cards hold in sequence and tell me the message is coming, and it doesn't come, then I have no business sitting in this chair. But it will come. The deck insists. The architecture is built. The only thing left is for me to turn them over and read you the story they're telling. And I'm going to do that now, one card at a time. And I need you to stay. I need you to hear all 13, because the card that finds you might be number 9. It might be number 12. You won't know which one is yours until it lands in your body like a key in a lock. So stay, breathe, and let me turn the first card. The first card I turn over for the silence that spoke is the Hanged Man. The core meaning of this card is suspension, willing sacrifice, and a complete shift in perspective. The deck is showing me that the quiet between you and this person is not an empty void. It is an active, heavy working silence. For some of you in the romantic thread, this silence is the boundary you finally set. You stop initiating, you stop checking in, You stop offering your energy to someone who only gives you breadcrumbs. You hang yourself upside down and let the blood rush to your head to see the relationship for what it actually is. For others of you in the family or professional threads, this silence is a stubborn standoff. You are waiting for them to acknowledge a wrong, and they are waiting for you to bend. But the cards insist that this suspension does the heavy lifting. It forces them to look at the space you leave behind. The Hanged Man shows me that your refusal to chase is the loudest thing you ever say. You tell yourself your silence is invisible, but it is a physical weight in their room. For the romantic thread, they feel the sudden drop in your attention, and it triggers a deep, primal panic. They realize you are actually capable of walking away. For the familial or career threads, your silence signals a shift in power. You stop playing the game by their rules, and the deck shows them sitting in the quiet you leave, realizing the game does not work without you. For the unsent draft, I am pulling the Page of Swords. This card is all about mental agility, surveillance, and the anxious energy of communication. The deck insists they are watching you right now. For some of you, they are deeply embedded in the romantic thread, and they are stalking your social media, watching your stories, analyzing who is in your background, and typing out long, winding paragraphs trying to explain their side of the story. They write it, read it, hate it, and delete it. For others in the professional or family threads, the draft is much colder. It is a formal email or a rigid text message they keep rewriting because they are trying to sound authoritative, but the cards show me their hands shaking as they type. They want to sound in control, but the Page of Swords exposes their nervous, scattered energy. Notice which one landed in your body. That reaction is information. If your chest tightens at the idea of them watching your every move, you are in the first group. If your stomach drops at the thought of a cold, calculated message, you are in the second. Here is where the shift happens. You spend weeks agonizing over what to say to them, rehearsing conversations in the shower, wondering if you should break the silence. But the cards are flipping the script entirely. You do not have to say a word. The burden of the first move is entirely on them, and they are drowning in the drafts. The anxiety you feel right now is just the psychic echo of their anxiety bouncing back to you. You are feeling their panic, not your own, for the reason they waited. The card is the Moon. This is the card of illusion, deep subconscious fear, and walking through the fog. The deck is showing me they do not wait because they do not care. They wait because they are profoundly confused and terrified of their own shadows. For those of you in the romantic thread, the Moon tells me they are tangled up in a situation they cannot see clearly a rebound. Toxic family dynamic, or their own unresolved trauma that makes them push you away when things get real. They wait until the fog lifts enough for them to see your face again. For those of you in the family or career threads, the delay is caused by misinformation. Someone else is whispering in their ear, painting a false picture of you, or they are projecting their own insecurities onto your actions. The Moon insists they are lost in a maze of their own making, and it takes until this exact week for the illusions to shatter. For the trembling hand, the card that falls here is the Nine of Wands. This is the wounded warrior. It represents exhaustion, defensiveness, and the final test of endurance. The deck insists that as they prepare to hit send today, they are not strutting back into your life with arrogance. They are limping. For some of you in the romantic thread, their hand trembles because their pride is taking a massive, humiliating hit. They know they mess up, they know they are coming back with their tail between their legs, and the fear of your rejection paralyses them. For others in the family or business threads, they are exhausted from fighting a battle they now realize they never should have started. They are coming to you depleted, carrying the heavy armor of their own stubbornness, and it takes everything they have left to lower the drawbridge. This is the moment you need to breathe into. You spend weeks imagining them coming back cocky, expecting you to just accept them, assuming you are waiting on a pedestal. The Nine of Wands shatters that illusion. They are terrified of you. They are terrified of your boundaries, your growth, and the new version of Taurus that emerges during the silence. The trembling hand is proof that your power is intact. You do not lose your leverage while you are quiet, you compound it. And now the final barrier between their screen and yours is dissolving. For card 5, the words they chose, the deck pulls the Ace of Swords. The core meaning of this card is absolute clarity, breakthrough, and the cutting away of illusion. As a Taurus, you have zero tolerance for half-truths or emotional manipulation, and the cards know this. You might be expecting a long, winding, poetic paragraph trying to charm their way back in, but the deck says no. For some of you in the romantic thread, the message is startlingly blunt. It cuts right through the months of heavy silence with a sharp, undeniable truth. I was wrong. I miss you. Can we talk? It's the Ace of Swords piercing through the fog we saw in the moon earlier. For others of you in the career or family threads, this is a formal, decisive communication. It's an email or a text that lays out exactly how to fix the rupture. Without emotional games, just clear, actionable accountability. I see where I failed you. Here is how I want to make it right. Notice how your body reacts to this bluntness. If you feel a sudden rush of relief in your shoulders, that is your spirit recognizing that the mind games are finally over. For card 6, the hidden apology, the card is the Five of Cups. The core meaning here is regret, mourning what was lost, and staring at the spilled wine. The deck insists that beneath whatever casual or blunt words they use to open the door, there is a profound, aching regret. For some of you in the romantic thread, they are looking at the time they wasted. They aren't just sorry for the specific fight that caused the silence. They are grieving the months of intimacy they sacrificed to their own ego. They are looking at the empty space beside them and realizing they poured out the best thing they had. For others in the family or friendship threads, the hidden apology is about missed milestones. They are looking at the holidays, the birthdays, the quiet moments they missed because they were too stubborn to pick up the phone. The Five of Cups shows me they are standing in the rain of their own making, deeply aware of what they broke. And here is a subtle shift I need you to feel in your chest right now. You have spent weeks telling yourself that your absence meant nothing to them. You convinced yourself they were out living their best life, completely unfazed by your silence. But look at this card. Look at the Five of Cups. Your absence was not a vacation for them, it was a mirror. Every day you didn't reach out was a day they had to sit with the consequences of their own actions. You were not forgotten, Taurus. You were deeply, painfully missed. For card 7, the door they're knocking on, the deck lays down the Four of Wands. The core meaning is homecoming, celebration, and a return to a stable foundation. This is a massive escalation in the energy. They are not knocking on your door just to chat. For those of you in the romantic thread, they are asking to come home. They are seeking the sanctuary, the peace, and the grounded stability that only your Taurus energy provides. They realized out there in the chaos that you were their safe harbor, and they want their place back in your sanctuary. For those of you in the professional or family threads, the Four of Wands means they want their seat back at the table. They want to be reintegrated into the unit, the team, the family structure they disrupted. They are knocking because they realize the foundation is stronger with them in it, but only if you grant them entry. For card 8, the proof and the signal, we see how this actually reaches you today. The deck pulls the Eight of Wands. The core meaning is swift movement, incoming messages, and arrows flying through the air. This is the card of digital communication and sudden acceleration. For some of you, this manifests as a rapid succession of texts. It won't be just one tentative, hey. It will be a flurry. You will see the typing bubble appear, disappear, and then suddenly 3 or 4 messages land in quick succession as they scramble to get all their thoughts out before they lose their nerve. For others of you, the Eight of Wands indicates a voice note or a sudden phone call. It's the sound of their voice arriving before you have time to put your armor on. The arrows are in the air right now. They have left the bow. And this is where the major emotional turn happens in your body. Feel it right now. For weeks, maybe months, you have felt like the one waiting in the dark. You felt powerless, wondering if you meant anything to them at all. But look at the spread. Look at the Eight of Wands flying toward you, the Four of Wands begging for entry, the Five of Cups weeping over the loss of you. You are not the beggar in this story, Taurus. You never were. You are the gatekeeper. The power dynamic has completely flipped while you were sitting in your stillness. They are the one rushing, scrambling, hoping the door is unlocked. You hold the keys. The anxiety you feel right now isn't fear that they won't reach out. It's the sudden, overwhelming realization of your own power. You are about to be handed choice, and your spirit is vibrating because it knows the harvest is finally here. For card 9, the old wound they carry, the deck pulls the Hierophant. The core meaning of this card is tradition, rigid belief systems, and the heavy weight of external expectations. The deck insists that the reason they disappeared, the reason they hurt you in the specific shape they did, has absolutely nothing to do with your worth and everything to do with the invisible rules they were forced to follow. For those of you in the romantic thread, they were suffocated by the script of what a relationship should look like. They panicked at the depth of your connection because it didn't fit the neat, predictable box their family or their past conditioning built for them. They ran because they didn't know how to be a partner outside of a rigid script. For those of you in the family or professional threads, the Hierophant shows me they were bound by a toxic loyalty to an institution. They chose the demanding boss, the controlling parent, or the outdated family dynamic over you because they lacked the spine to break the rules and stand on their own 2 feet. Here is the profound emotional turn you need to absorb into your bones right now. You have spent weeks, maybe months, staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., convincing yourself they left because you were too much, or not enough, or too demanding. You internalized their exit as a reflection of your value. But look at the Hierophant. They left because they were too weak to handle the depth, the authenticity, and the freedom you required. They retreated into the safety of the shallow end because your ocean terrified their fragile ego. Their departure was not a rejection of you. It was a confession of their own limitations. For card 10, the bridge being built, the card is the Six of Cups. The core meaning is nostalgia, deep roots, and the undeniable pull of shared history. This card is a massive validation for you as a Taurus, because you are the sign of the earth, the sign of deep roots and enduring foundations. The deck insists that the bridge they are crossing to get back to you today is not built on a flimsy new excuse. It is built on the undeniable, irreplaceable history you share. For those of you in the romantic thread, the bridge is paved with your inside jokes, the quiet Sunday mornings, the way you know exactly how they take their coffee, and the sanctuary you built together. They are returning because no new, shiny distraction could ever replicate the deep root system you planted in their soul. For those of you in the family or friendship threads, the bridge is built on decades of shared survival. They are realizing that the new people in their life do not know their history, they do not know their shorthand, and they cannot replicate the profound comfort of your shared past. For card 11, the answer you'll give. The deck lays down the Queen of Swords. The core meaning is absolute clarity, fierce boundaries, and intellect ruling over messy emotions. You have been rehearsing this moment in your head for weeks. You thought that when their name finally lit up your screen, you would melt, or you would scream, or you would type out a furious paragraph detailing all the ways they broke your heart. But the deck says no. For those of you in the romantic thread, you do not fall into their digital arms weeping with relief. You answer with profound, unshakable dignity. You ask the hard questions. You set the terms. You make them explain themselves without giving them the emotional validation they are desperately seeking to soothe their own guilt. For those of you in the career or family threads, your reply is cool, professional, and impenetrable. You do not give them the angry reaction they were bracing for. You give them a mirror. You make them earn the warmth back, degree by degree. This is the moment your power fully crystallizes. You are not the wounded party waiting to be rescued by their apology. You are the Queen of Swords sitting on your throne, holding the blade of truth, deciding if they are worthy of entering your kingdom. You are sovereign Taurus. The anxiety is gone, replaced by a cold, beautiful clarity. For card 12, the first hour after, the card is the Star. The core meaning is profound healing, nervous system regulation, and the pouring of water onto parched earth. The deck insists that the 60 minutes following this contact will not be chaotic. For those of you in the romantic thread, you expect your heart to race and your stomach to tie in knots, but the star promises a deep, healing exhale. The heavy, anxious energy that has been sitting on your chest for months simply dissipates. It is a quiet, sacred moment of two people finally dropping the armor. For those of you in the family or professional threads, the first hour brings a massive release of mental tension. The obsessive looping in your brain stops. You finally get the validation, the clarification, or the apology you needed to sleep through the night without waking up in a panic. The storm breaks. The water flows. The healing begins the exact second you hit reply. For card 13, the final position of the next chapter written. The deck pulls the ultimate card of completion and integration, the World. The core meaning of this major arcana card is a successful conclusion, wholeness, and the closing of a massive karmic cycle. The deck insists that this message arriving today is not just temporary bandage on a bleeding wound. It is the catalyst for a complete evolution. For those of you in the romantic thread, the world tells me you are not just going back to the way things were. The old toxic cycle of them pulling away and you chasing is dead and buried. This next chapter is about public integration, deep commitment, and building a life that actually works in the real world, not just in secret or in fleeting moments of passion. They are returning to build an empire with you. For those of you in the family or professional threads, the world signifies total vindication and resolution. The contract is finally signed, the dispute is permanently settled, and your rightful place in the hierarchy or the family structure is restored. But it is restored on your terms, with the boundaries you forged during the silence. Here is the emotional turn you must absorb as we close the spread. You have been terrified that if they came back, you would just be setting yourself up to be abandoned again. You feared the cycle would simply repeat. But look at the world. The deck is screaming that the cycle is broken. The person reaching out today is not the same person who walked away. The silence killed the old version of them. And the person typing your name right now is stepping into a completely new, mature, integrated phase of their life. You are not stepping backward into a trap, you are stepping forward into a promise. Now, let's talk about the clock, because I know the anxiety of when is eating at your nervous system. The deck's ultimate timing window for the full manifestation of this new chapter, the moving in. The signed contract. The public reconciliation spans the next 2 to 4 months of this late summer and early autumn of 2026. But the catalyst, the message that breaks the seal and initiates the world, arrives within the next 24 hours. Before this August day fully closes, or as you wake up tomorrow morning, the seal breaks. Here is how it reaches you. The deck shows me the physical mechanism of the arrival. It is not a dramatic, cinematic scene in the rain. It is the sudden sharp vibration of your phone against a hard surface. It is the screen lighting up in a dark room, casting a pale blue glow against your ceiling. You will be doing something entirely mundane, washing a dish, folding towel, scrolling mindlessly through a different app, and the notification will drop down. For the romantic thread, the fragment of words you will see on that lock screen is raw and unpolished. It will say something like, "I couldn't do this anymore," or "Are you awake? I need to hear your voice," or simply, "I'm so sorry." Please pick up. For the career or family threads, the fragment of words is formal but heavy with subtext. It will say, "We need to finalize this," or "I was thinking about what you said, and you were right," or "Can we meet tomorrow?" It's important. Feel the shift in your body right now. The abstract fear of if is dissolving into the concrete reality of how. Your nervous system is preparing for the vibration. You are no longer waiting in the void. You are waiting for the physical buzz against the wood of your desk. And this brings us to the most important reframe of this entire reading. I need you to take every ounce of pain, every tear you cried over the delay, every moment you felt abandoned by the universe, and I need you to flip it. The silence was not a punishment. The delay was not the universe forgetting about you. The silence was incubation. As a Taurus, you are an earth sign. You understand that you cannot rush the harvest. If you pull a root vegetable from the soil before it is ready, it is small, bitter, and unusable. If this person had reached out to you 3 weeks ago or even last week, they would have brought the exact same toxic patterns, the exact same ego, and the exact same half-hearted energy that caused the rupture in the first place. You would have accepted them back, and 3 weeks later they would have left you again. The deck insists that the delay was divine protection. The universe kept them away just long enough for them to hit rock bottom. The universe kept them in the fog of the moon and the regret of the Five of Cups until their ego was completely starved. The painful silence you endured was the fire that burned away their immaturity. You thought the delay meant you were unwanted. The cards reveal the delay meant you were being protected from premature, doomed reunion. The time it took was exactly the time they needed to become the person capable of holding the world with you. The wait was not empty. It was the most productive, vital work of your entire connection.